Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play The Elder Scrolls III, Morrowind, Game of the Year Edition. In our last video, Fedar finished exploring Labor Town, which means that, with the exception of a few locked buildings that he has not yet broken into, Fedar has explored the entirety of Balmora, a city so large I can't fit the whole thing on the minimap all at once. Wow. So way back at the beginning of the game, Fedar was told to report to Caius Cosades and hand over this package for Caius Cosades, and not to peek at it. But come on, this is Fedar we're talking about. One little peek couldn't hurt. Ah, I see. This is written in code. So unfortunately, Fedar's not going to be able to glean anything from it. Okay, so that was a bit of a letdown, but it's okay, because Caius Cosades is right through this door. Fedar is finally going to meet him. You ready? Let's go. Oh. Yes, well, anyway, hi there. What? Yes, I'm Caius Cosades. But what do you mean you were told to report to Caius Cosades? What are you talking about? Well, I appear to be talking about you, good sir. I'm just an old man with a skooma problem. Yes, we heard about that. I guess we shall see. Let's have a conversation with him. Tell me about Corpus disease. I don't know much about it. I've never seen a case myself. You can get it from contact with the red mountain monsters they call Corpus beasts. I think it's like a blight disease, only worse. It usually drives victims mad and causes terrible deformed growths on the body. I'll check my informants and find out how to cure it. In the meantime, just follow your orders. I don't know what else to do. Wait, huh? What orders? Like, from the Fighters Guild? Or what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nobody gave me any orders. Not that I know about. Indeed, I believe Caius Cosades is just an old man with a skooma problem. Let's continue. Tell me about Fort Moonmoth. Moonmoth Fort is the Imperial Legion garrison southeast of Balmora, just outside of town. Rad Hardheart is the knight in charge. Between the Imperial Legions and Imperial Cult staff, they have about a dozen service providers out there. Very good. You'll notice that some of his conversation responses are generic, but that's okay. I would like to have a full conversation with him. Tell me about guild guides. A guild guide is a spellcaster of the Mages Guild who provides magical transport for a small fee. You can only travel from one Mages Guild to another, but it is the fastest way to travel between Vivec, Balmora, Aldrune, Caldera, and Sadrith Mora. Okay. What about lay servants? Lay servants serve the Imperial Cult by doing various tasks. Not a lot of excitement, but safe, honorable, and rewarding. First, you have to join the Imperial Cult, then go to the Imperial Chapels in Ebonheart to get work. See Snolian Tunifus to become a lay healer. See Aeolus Troopter to become an almoner, a fundraiser. See Kay to become a shrine sergeant. They do the more dangerous jobs. Alright, do you have any advice for Fedar? About doing quests for factions. If you try to complete every task you're given, sooner or later you'll run into trouble. Don't assume that just because someone gives you a job, you ought to be able to complete it. When you get a job that's over your head, be patient. Go do something else for a while, and come back when you're tougher, better skilled, and better equipped. Very good advice. Thank you, Caius. What do you know about this Nerevarine thing people have mentioned? Some Dunmer believe that an orphan and outcast, a youth born on a certain day to uncertain parents, will one day unite all the tribes of the Dunmer, drive out the invaders of Morrowind, and re-establish the ancient laws and customs of the Dark Elven nations. They call this orphan and outcast the Nerevarine, and say the Nerevarine will be a reincarnation of the long-dead Dunmer general and first counselor, Lord Indoril Nerevar. Cool story, bro. I'm sure that's the last we've heard of that. And we've already asked about orders, and I don't want to report to him just yet. What are your rules, Caius? The rules for the blades are simple. Follow orders, my orders. Don't steal from the blades. Don't attack anyone from the blades. Simple rules. Follow them, or you'll be expelled. And once you're expelled, you're out forever. Another fine example of a member of the Imperial Secret Police not doing a very good job of maintaining the secret part of Imperial Secret Police. Well, what do you think of Solstheim? A terrible place, I've heard. There's a boat from Cool if you have any reason to go. I do not currently. What do you think of Soul Sickness? That's the temple name for being crazy. The Dunmer are humorless bastards. They don't like strange behavior. It makes them nervous. Eccentric isn't charming to them. It's dangerous. The natives are very tight-cheeked, and you will be too if you want to avoid unwanted attention. Understood. What training do you offer? Unarmored, speechcraft, and hand-to-hand. Okay. Well, I don't think there's much else we can do except for report to Caius Cosades. So, you say your name is Fedar Mock, and you've been told to report to me and deliver a package. Perhaps you'll let me look at it? Yes. Yes, very interesting. So, it says here the Emperor wants me to make you a novice in the blades, and that means you'll be following my orders. Are you ready to follow my orders, Fedar Mock? Package for Caius Cosades has been removed from your inventory. Well, Fedar's already got quite a bit on his plate, and this just sounds like more work, so unfortunately, I'm just kidding. Of course we're going to join the blades. It sounds fun, right, Fedar? Yes. Good. Welcome to the service, Novice Fedar Mock. Now you belong to the blades. We're the Emperor's eyes and ears in the provinces. You can use my bed if you need to rest, but leave my personal stuff alone, unless I say otherwise. If you like, you can improve your modest skills with our blades trainers now. Or if you're in a hurry, I can give you orders right away. But don't forget to visit the blades trainers. Your journal has been updated. And we've got a lot more that we can chit-chat with him about. And his disposition towards Fedar increased by 22 points, from 49 to 71. And I guess Fedar is in the blades now. Well, we definitely want to explore some of these new topics, so tell me about the Ashlanders. I don't know much about the Ashlanders. Most people say they are murderous savages, but most people are idiots. I know they hate their settled Dunmer cousins almost as much as they hate Westerners. They must be tough to live in the Ashlands. I don't think Outlanders can become members of the tribes. I don't know why anyone would want to. You never know. So tell me about this super secret organization that you just let me waltz right into. We're spies. We're the Emperor's hidden eyes and ears in the provinces. We watch the Emperor's enemies. We look for opportunities. We make reports. And when the Emperor commands, we obey. But we're only one of many guilds and factions in Morrowind. You should know a little about Morrowind politics before you get involved with any of these other groups. Fedar's pretty involved already, but he's done his homework, and he feels comfortable with the factions that he's joined so far. No worries. Tell me about these blades trainers. These blades agents offer training. Not free, of course, but cheap for a fellow agent. Look for Rithleen, Tir Malin, and Nine Toes here in Balmora. In Caldera, see Serain Laoriane. In Aldrune, see Gildan. Storvar Horsemouth lives in a hut west of Aldrune, and Elone the Scout can be found at Ariel's trade house in Sedanine. Got it. Well, now that we're such good friends, maybe you'll tell me more about yourself? I'm the Imperial Spy Master for Morrowind, and since I'm the ranking Blades agent in Morrowind, you report to me. You follow orders, and we'll get along fine. All right. Tell me about the Kimono Tong. The Kimono Tong is Morrowind's native criminal syndicate. They're tough and ruthless, and have connections in the higher ranks of House Hlalu. The Kimono Tong compete directly with the Thieves Guild for control of illegal trade, and Kimono Tong will not tolerate competition. Compared with the Kimono Tong, the Thieves Guild is relatively decent and honorable, certainly less brutal. They don't accept Outlanders as members. Forget about it. Yeah, I kind of gathered that. After chatting with them at the council club. Do you have anything new to say about Corpus disease? You don't. Okay, tell me about Elone. Elone the Scout can usually be found at a Reals trade house in Satanin. You know where that is. You arrived in Satanin by boat. Your journal has been updated, and Elone is no longer a conversation topic. Okay. Tell me about the Fighters Guild. The Fighters Guild is a professional organization chartered by the Emperor to regulate the hiring and training of mercenaries. Training, goods, and services are cheaper for members, and the guild stewards know where to find work. You'll have to start your service with Adis Fireeye, the Balmora Guild Steward. She's new, and I don't know her well. Perseus Mercius, the Aldrune Guild Steward, I know and trust, but he only handles higher-ranking assignments. Yeah, Fedar's already joined the Fighters Guild, but thanks for the info. Let's see if he has anything new to say about Fort Moonmoth. He does not. Okay. Well, tell me about Gildan. Nightblade Gildan lives in Aldrune, the Redran district seat north of here, beyond Caldera. Gildan is in the southeast corner of town, in a house to the right of the steps up to the temple. Your journal has been updated. And Gildan is no longer a conversation topic. Anything new to say about Guild Guide? No, nothing new to say about Guild Guide. Okay, well, tell me about the guilds and factions. Groups favoring Imperial interests are the Blades, the Imperial Cult, the Imperial Legion, the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, and the Thieves Guild. Groups favoring native Dunmer interests are House Redoran, House Hlalu, and House Telvanni, the Temple, the Morag Tong, the Kimono Tong, and the Ashlanders. That does seem to align with what Fedar has learned about Morrowind's various guilds and factions so far. Well, tell me about House Hlalu. House Hlalu is one of the 3 Dunmer Great Houses on Vvardenfell. They are loyal supporters of the Empire, open-minded in religious and cultural matters, and greedy and ambitious in the best Imperial tradition. It's difficult to rise in their ranks as an Outlander, but the Great Houses hold the power in Morrowind. Talk to Hlalu counselors if you want to become a Hlalu retainer. One step ahead of you there, my friend. One step ahead of you. How about House Redoran? House Redoran is one of the 3 Dunmer Great Houses on Vvardenfell, a very serious and honorable bunch. It's difficult for an Outlander to join and rise in their ranks, but the Great Houses are where the power lies in Morrowind. Talk to Redoran counselors if you want to become a Redoran retainer. And not going to be doing that. How about House Telvanni? House Telvanni is one of the 3 Dunmer Great Houses on Vvardenfell. Their nobles are 1,000-year-old wizards. Telvanni are supposed to hate politics, foreigners, and just about everything else, but the Vvardenfell Telvanni are apparently more ambitious and adventurous than most. I don't know much about them, but they do hire Western mercenaries, and some even rise to higher ranks. Talk to Telvanni counselors if you want to become a Telvanni retainer. Nope, hard pass, because House Telvanni supports slavery. Tell me about the Imperial Cult. The Imperial Cult worships the 9 divines, the Aedra Akatosh, Dibella, Arche, Zenithar, Mara, Stendar, Kinnereth, and Julianos, and Tiber Septim, founder and patron of the Empire. In Morrowind, it's partly maintaining the faith for Outlanders like us, and partly a missionary cult, bringing enlightenment to the heathen Dunmer. You can see Somuti Vuni at Fort Moonmoth to join, but you have to go to Ebonheart if you want to become a lay servant. Alright, what about the Imperial Legion? The Imperial Legion has several fort garrisons here on Vvardenfell. The lower ranks handle law enforcement, escorts, rescues, dangerous predators, diseased and blighted beasts, and so forth. Only one fort accepts recruits, Fort Darius in Nisus. Nisus is a frontier outpost, isolated, a little rough, but good experience. If you're interested, see General Darius in Nisus. Alright, and I don't think you have anything new to say about lay servants. You do not. That is okay. Do you have any new advice? No. Alright, how about the Mages Guild? It's a guild for the arcane arts, and it's where you go to find wizards for hire. Training, goods, and services are cheaper for members, and the guild stewards know where to find work. If you want to be a wizard, join and work your way up the ranks. The Mages Guild here is a better bet than the Fighters Guild. Rannis Athris is the guild steward, so talk to her if you want to join up. She's got a chip on her shoulder, but her apprentice Ajira seems okay, for a Khajiit. Oh, thank you for that, Caius. That wasn't racist at all. Actually, that was quite racist. What about the Morag Tong? The Morag Tong is a guild of executioners and assassins, completely legal and guided by a strict code of conduct. It's an ancient Dunmer society steeped in tradition, but I know and respect a few Westerners who belong to the Morag Tong. They are nothing like the Dark Brotherhood. I have no idea how to join them. Maybe we'll find out someday. Anything new about the Nerevarine? No. What about Nine Toes? To get to Hunter Nine Toes, leave my door facing south. Go right down the steps, then turn left and head south, looking for his door on your left. Your journal has been updated, and we can no longer ask about Nine Toes. That's fine. I'm not going to ask for orders just yet. We'll wait on that. I would like to report to you again, sir. So, Fedar, are you looking for orders? Or did you have a question about the blade trainers? Well, I don't want orders yet. I guess I do have a question about the blade trainers. Tell me about Rithleen. Warrior Rithleen lives 2 houses south, upstairs. Your journal has been updated, and we can no longer ask about Rithleen. Have the rules changed since I joined? They have not. What about services? We have our own blades trainers, of course, and there are many public services available in Balmora. Members get better prices from guild services. The Balmora Fighters Guild and Balmora Mages Guild are across the river. You'll find contacts for the Balmora Thieves Guild in the south wall up the street. And there's an Imperial Cult Shrine at nearby Moonmoth Legion Fort. Indeed. Tell me about Shorvar Horsemouth. Master-at-Arms Shorvar Horsemouth lives in a guar herder's hut in the middle of nowhere west of Caldera. I've only been there once and couldn't give you directions. Go look for him if you feel like a little hike. Your journal has been updated, and Caius will no longer talk about Shorvar Horsemouth. Solstheim. What do you think of Solstheim? You have nothing new to say about Solstheim. What about Soul Sickness? Nothing new there either. How about Serain Laoriane? Mage Serain Laoriane is in Caldera, the next town north. Her half-timber and stone house north sits between the twin towers of the North Gate and the Governor's Hall. Your journal has been updated, and Serain Laoriane is no longer a conversation topic. Well, what do you think of the temple? The Tribunal Temple is the native religion. They worship 3 god kings, Almalexia, Sothasil, and Vivek, who are known together as the Tribunal. We usually just call it the Temple. They're narrow-minded and superstitious, but I find a lot to admire, particularly their concern for the poor. They accept Outlanders as members, but few Outlanders join, except for the services. Talk to Feldrello Sadri at the Balmora Temple if you're thinking about joining. Well, Fedar's already a member of that too, because he finds the mythology interesting. Tell me about the Thieves Guild. In the rest of the Empire, the Thieves Guild is a more or less organized group of local criminal syndicates governing illegal trade in their communities. Here in Morrowind, the Thieves Guild is the newcomer. The established local crime lords are called the Kimono Tong. The Thieves Guild doesn't advertise, partly because to avoid the law, and partly to avoid the Kimono Tong, who have sworn to destroy the upstart Thieves Guild. Sugarlips Habasi over the south wall is the local guild boss. Yes, she is. Fedar's met her. How about Tyr Malin? Healer Tyr Malin lives 2 houses south, downstairs. Your journal has been updated, and Tyr Malin is no longer a conversation topic. Has anything new been added while we were speaking with him? It does not look like it. I wonder if the prices for training have changed substantially. They have changed a little. I guess Fedar gets the Imperial Secret Police discount. That just leaves orders. All right, Caius. What would you have Fedar do? Well, One look at you and anyone can see you're an experienced adventurer. That can be your cover identity. Around here, freelance adventurers are thick as fleas on a guar. You'll want to keep active in that line, just to avoid unwanted attention. So, I have orders for you, whenever you're ready. Your journal has been updated. Yeah, he's making that particular statement because if you come to meet Caius when you are level 3 or lower, he will tell you to go get some more experience before he is ready to give you orders. But Fedar is good to go, so let's continue. Ready for orders? Good. Go talk to Vvardenfell at the Balmora Fighters Guild. Ask him what he knows about the Nerevarine secret cult and the 6th House secret cult. You'll have to do him a favor first, probably an ugly favor, but do it. Then get the information from Antabolis and report back to me. Continue. By the way, Hasfat is a student of Morrowind history. Take the chance to get a little education. And I have a few history books in here. Help yourself. You're welcome to them. No point in being part of history if you're too ignorant to understand it. Your journal has been updated. Secret cults? What's Fedar gotten himself into? Tell me more about Vvardenfell. He's drill master of the Balmora Fighters Guild. He's lived in Morrowind all his life, knows the natives, and talks a lot with backcountry mercenaries. He thinks of himself as a scholar, and he's particularly interested in Dwemer ruins and artifacts. Alright. Well, Fedar's already met Hasfat, of course, we just couldn't talk to him about any of this stuff yet. Do you have something different to say about Nerevarine now? No. But this is new. 6th House? A trusted informant says they're a secret cult associated with some strange events recently, and, more important, my informant thinks these recent disturbances are related in some way to the Nerevarine prophecies. Wait, what are the Nerevarine prophecies? The illiterate Ashlanders pass down their customs and history in the form of poetic verses. Among the things they preserve in verse are the dreams and prophetic visions of their wise women, in particular the verses that foretell the coming of the Nerevarine. But I don't know much about it. That's why I'm sending you to find out. Why do you need to know more about that? Right, well, what about Morrowind history? Jeanette City's little book is a good place to start. I have a copy here. Take it. You might also look for On Morrowind, the Imperial Province, by Aramanwe of Sunhold. A short history of Morrowind has been added to your inventory. Your journal has been updated. Well, all right. Thank you, Caius, for the conversation, and the Blades membership, and the orders, and the book. Now, Fedar must press on, so goodbye.
Now, where did I put that?
You gave it to me. I have it now. And I'm going to read it because it's helpful and informative. A Short History of Morrowind by Jeanette City. From the introduction. Led by the legendary prophet Veloth, the ancestors of the Dunmer, exiles from Altmer cultures in present-day Somerset Isle, came to the region of Morrowind. In earliest times, the Dunmer were harassed or dominated by Nord sea raiders. When the scattered Dunmer tribes consolidated into the predecessors of the modern Great House clans, they threw out the Nord oppressors and successfully resisted further incursions. The ancient ancestor worship of the tribes was in time superseded by the monolithic tribunal temple theocracy, and the Dunmer grew into a great nation called Resdayn. Resdayn was the last of the provinces to submit to Tiber Septim. Like Black Marsh, it was never successfully invaded, and was peacefully incorporated by treaty into the Empire as the province of Morrowind. Almost 4 centuries after the coming of the Imperial Legions, Morrowind is still occupied by Imperial Legions, with a figurehead Imperial King, though the Empire has reserved most functions of the traditional local government to the ruling councils of the 5 great houses. On Vvardenfell District. In 3rd Era 414, Vvardenfell territory, previously a temple preserve under Imperial protection, was reorganized as an Imperial provincial district. Vvardenfell had been maintained as a preserve administered by the temple since the Treaty of the Armistice, and except for a few great house settlements sanctioned by the temple, Vvardenfell was previously uninhabited and undeveloped. But when the centuries-old temple ban on trade and settlement of Vvardenfell was revoked by King of Morrowind, a flood of Imperial colonists and Great House Dunmer came to Vvardenfell, expanding old settlements and building new ones. The new district was divided into Redoran, Hlalu, Telvanni, and Temple districts, each separately administered by local house councils or temple priesthoods, and all under the advice and consent of Duke Dren and the district council in Ebonheart. Local law became a mixture of house law and imperial law in house districts, jointly enforced by house guards and legion guards, with temple law and imperial law enforced in the temple district by ordinators. The temple was still recognized as the majority religion, but worship of the 9 divines was protected by the legions and encouraged by imperial cult missions. The temple district included the city of Vivec, the fortress of Ghostgate, and all sacred and profane sites, including those blighted areas inside the Ghost Fence, and all unsettled and wilderness areas on Vvardenfell. In practice, this district included all parts of Vvardenfell not claimed for Redoran, Hlalu, or Telvanni districts. The temple stubbornly fought all development in their district, and were largely successful. House Hlalu, in combination with imperial colonists, embarked on a vigorous campaign of settlement and development. In the decades after reorganization, Balmora and the Ascadian Isles regions have grown steadily. Caldera and Plagiad are completely new settlements, and all legion forts were expanded to accommodate larger garrisons. House Telvanni, normally conservative and isolationist, has been surprisingly aggressive in expanding beyond their traditional tower villages. Disregarding the protests of the other houses, the temple, the duke, and the district council, Telvanni pioneers have been encroaching on the wildlands reserved to the temple. The Telvanni Council officially disavows responsibility for these rogue Telvanni settlements, but it is an open secret that they are encouraged and supported by ambitious Telvanni mage lords. Under pressure from the temple, conservative House Redoran has steadfastly resisted expansion in their district. As a result, House Redoran and the temple are in danger of being politically and economically marginalized by the more aggressive and expansionist Hlalu and Telvanni interests. The Imperial administration faces many challenges in the Vvardenfell district, but the most serious are the Great House rivalries, animosity from the Ashlander nomads, internal conflicts within the temple itself, and the Red Mountain Blight. Struggles between Great House, temple, and imperial interests to control Vvardenfell's resources could at any time erupt into full-scale war. Ashlanders raid settlements, plunder caravans, and kill foreigners on their wild lands. The temple has unsuccessfully attempted to silence criticism and calls for reform within its ranks. But most serious are the plagues and diseased hosts produced by the blight storms sweeping out from Red Mountain. Vvardenfell and all Morrowind have long been menaced by the legendary evils of Dagoth and his ash vampire kin dwelling beneath Red Mountain. For centuries, the temple has contained this threat within the Ghost Fence. But recently, the temple's resources and will have faltered, and the threat from Red Mountain has grown in scale and intensity. If the Ghost Fence should fail, and hosts of blighted monsters were to spill out across Vvardenfell's towns and villages, the Empire might have no choice but to evacuate Vvardenfell district and abandon it to disease and corruption. Yeah, that one was important enough to read now instead of during story time.
Greetings. What shall we talk about?
Well, you said you had a lot of books here, but I'm just seeing this one. The War of... Please don't. The War of the First Council. No skill point. Okay. Good skooma pipe. Interesting. Moon sugar. Yeah, I guess Caius has a habit. But that's okay, that's his business. Let's see here. Well, we did just join another faction. The Blades. So let's read about that. Fedar is a novice. The next rank is apprentice, and in order to reach that, Fedar must have an intelligence of 40 and a personality of 30. The Blades' favorite skills are speechcraft, marksman, light armor, sneak, restoration, and long blade. And you must have one of those skills at 30 and two of those skills at 20, in addition to the aforementioned attribute requirements, in order to reach the next rank. Well, the Blades certainly have higher standards for advancement than the other factions do, but they are the Imperial Secret Police, so I guess that tracks. A lot also just happened there that got jotted into the journal, so let's look over that. Here we are. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. I have given Caius Cosades the package of documents, and, by the Emperor's command, Caius Cosades has inducted me into the Blades, the Imperial Intelligence Service, with the rank of Novice. Caius Cosades will be my spy master, and I'll follow his orders. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says one of the Blades under his command, Elone the Scout, can usually be found at Ariel's trade house in Sedanin, the seaport where I arrived by boat. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says one of the Blades under his command, Nightblade Gildan, lives in Aldrune, the Redoran district seat north of Balmora, beyond Caldera. Gildan lives in the southeast corner of town, in a house to the right of the steps up to the temple. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says that to reach Hunter Ninetoes, one of the Blades under Caius's command, leave Caius's door facing south. Go right, down the steps, then turn left and head south, looking for Ninetoes' door on the left. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says one of the Blades under his command, Warrior Rithleen, lives 2 houses south of Caius's house, upstairs. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says one of the Blades under his command, Master-at-Arms Shorvar Horsemouth, lives in a Guarherder's hut in the middle of nowhere west of Caldera. Caius couldn't give me good directions. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says one of the Blades under his command, Mage Serain Laeriane, is in Caldera, the next town north. Her half-timber and stone house north sits between the twin towers of the North Gate and the Governor's Hall. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Caius says one of the Blades under his command, Healer Tyr Malin, lives 2 houses south from Caius's house, downstairs. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. Spy Master Caius Cosades suggested I maintain a cover identity as a freelance adventurer, just to avoid drawing unwanted attention. And he says he has orders for me whenever I'm ready. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. The Spy Master has sent me to talk to Vvardenfell at the Balmora Fighters Guild. I'm to ask him what he knows about the Nerevarine secret cult and the 6th House secret cult, and return to report to the Spy Master. First, I'll have to do some favor for Antabolis, then he'll give me the information that the Spy Master wants. 31st of Last Seed, Day 16. When I asked about Morrowind history, Caius Cosades gave me a copy of A Short History of Morrowind, and suggested I look for a copy of On Morrowind, the Imperial Province, by Aramanwe of Sunhold. Indeed. Well, Fedar has finally met with Caius Cosades and gotten his orders. He needs to head over to the Fighters Guild to meet with Vvardenfell. And he'll do that in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.